1, 2, 3, 4.
Good evening. And...
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
That was a quick show.
It was. Thank you and good night. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I left that checked. I should have unchecked the box. This is not the show. We're on Sunday, even though we're not usually anymore.
No.
I'm Joe.
I'm Mondo.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
Excellent.
Yeah, things are cool. Been busy.
What you been up to?
I think the last time we were supposed to do a show, my whole house was sick but me.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was that. They're all better now.
That's good.
Yeah. It's cool. So yeah, we skipped a week or half a week, and we won't be live again until next Tuesday. So 10 days or so from now, because I'm going to see Iron Man Tuesday.
Nice.
Yeah. Seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen Iron Man or Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yeah. Star Trek will be my next one. A lot of movies this summer that I want to see. It's going to be tough to squeeze them all in and get sitters and all that stuff.
I've been working split shifts at the post office, so I haven't had a chance to go see either of these, even though I could have, sort of. So, this week I don't think I'm working split shifts, so I'm hoping to see both of these this week. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to squeeze in Star Trek somewhere. I mean, when Jen doesn't want to see it, it's easier because then I could leave her home and see it with my friends or by myself or whatever. But Star Trek's another one that Jen wants to see too, so we try and go to them together when we both want to see them.
Right.
You know, the whole married thing, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think anything went on this past 10 days. I haven't yet caught up. I've been watching Game of Thrones. I'm all caught up on Game of Thrones.
I am not caught up on Game of Thrones.
So I'm not caught up on Warehouse 13. I only saw the first episode, and I'm also not caught up on Doctor Who. I am still behind. I have 5 episodes in my DVR on Doctor Who. But it's done. Now I have all the time in the world to catch up.
You do.
Yeah, last night was the finale, which I heard was fantastic.
Uh,
Yeah, you weren't thrilled?
I'd say there was stuff in there that I thought was absolutely fantastic, but on the whole, the episode just kind of, I don't know, it fell short. A lot of these Clara, I like Clara a lot, but a lot of these Clara episodes, I don't know, they're just not working for me as well. I'm still enjoying it. I still like the show a lot, but it's not working for me as much as it did earlier.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see them and judge for myself. I heard the Neil Gaiman episode was good too, but
that was a really good one.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one. That was probably my favorite episode of this season.
Okay.
Although the last bit, I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything for you or anyone else, but I mean, the last bit of last night's episode was just that was awesome.
Okay.
And I can hardly wait till November when we have our 50th anniversary Doctor Who special with the 10th Doctor and the 11th Doctor and possibly another Doctor or two. We don't know yet.
Right.
For sure. There's talk that there may be another Doctor in in a mystery box, like one of J.J. Abrams' mystery boxes.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I know that John Barrowman said he won't be in it. They didn't ask him. He said. Yeah,
it's such a bummer to me.
Yeah.
I like him.
Me too. But what are you going to do? I can't get at the doc. It looks like something's wrong with Google Docs at the moment. Otherwise, I would have gone over the movie list. But I don't think the doc doesn't seem to want to open. I can get at the file system, right? I can see but when I try and open oh, there it goes. It's open now. I got it. So let's briefly talk about that before we talk about any news. There's only a couple movies out. One for each of us. Pain and Gain open for Jen. Iron Man 3 open for me. The Great Gatsby open for you, which you paid $1 for, by the way.
I paid $1 for Gatsby?
Yes, you paid $1 for Gatsby, and it is currently total worldwide gross at $79 million for a $1 movie. And you also have Star Trek, which opened Friday, and the early estimates are 60. As of yesterday, it was 67 million. But from what I saw on Deadline's page, it looks like it's going to be close to more like 165 million for opening weekend. So double what it says right there.
I'll take that.
Yeah. So I have Iron Man. I'm already at $1 billion. That one went up pretty quickly, and Jen's at 44 million. But everybody just started. For what it looks like to me, Monsters University and Despicable Me both have potential to be billion-dollar films. For you, Fast and Furious 6 and Star Trek both have the potential to be billion-dollar box offices. And for me, I think Iron Man may be my only really big movie, but I have a handful that may together give me some good numbers. So I still think it's anyone's game.
Planes, if people haven't gotten tired of that yet.
Yeah, it may. I mean, I read this article about potential summer billion-dollar movies, and they didn't mention Planes. Maybe it just slipped whoever wrote its view there. But
I didn't care for the Cars movies.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, but that was just that was me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. So summer movie game has begun. Jen paid $3 for her first movie that's not doing too well. She has Epic coming out on May 24th. I have After Earth on May 31st, and you have Fast and Furious 6 on May 24th, which will make a fortune.
Now, Epic, I'm not interested in anymore.
No?
I thought it was going to be like a Faith No More movie.
Ha!
I really don't know why. Every time I hear the word Epic, I really didn't think that, but every time I hear the word Epic, I only think of Faith No More.
For me, when I keep seeing the trailer, and I'm every time I see the trailer, I'm more meh about it. I'm like, all right. But JoJo really wants to see it, and because he wants to see anything that we let him see in the theater, so we'll probably take him to. Jen owns Epic, Monsters U, and Despicable Me, somehow. So we'll probably take him to all three of those. Yeah, a 300 got pushed to the fall. Jen bought 300 for her $22 last dollars that she had. So it got pushed to the fall. So we're gonna have to replace it with something else that's coming out in the summer. So
something else I think got pushed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to let me take a look at this list here again. So I read about something getting pushed out of the summer movies, and I remembered it being one of the movies that we had. And I don't think it was 300. I think it was a different.
It happens. So I don't know. All I knew is that. Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was 300, but I want to say it wasn't. I know it wasn't World War Z. That gets pushed down again. That's going to be like, World War Z is like possibly like, that's I think I'm gone. No, there I am. Okay, things were buffering.
Okay.
But I think when we watch the trailers, we're gonna have some serious lag. But what was I talking about? Fantastic Four. I don't know. Something else I thought got pushed back. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I'll figure it out, and I'll update the list, and I'll tell Jen that she's getting screwed out of a movie that might make a good amount of money for a movie that probably won't make a good amount of money.
What's up with Gatsby anyway? I mean, I'm glad that it's making some good money for a dollar film, but apparently it has some sort of hip hop soundtrack.
It does. I'm not sure what.
$100 bills.
You know what it reminds me of? It may even be the same director. It reminds me of Moulin Rouge.
Oh.
So I think it may even be the same director. I can look that up though. Director of Gatsby, 2013 was Baz Luhrmann. And Baz Luhrmann also directed Romeo and Juliet and Moulin Rouge, both the 1996 version of Romeo and Juliet with also with Leo DiCaprio.
Yep.
And Moulin Rouge. So yeah, it makes sense. And Strictly Ballroom is another famous movie that he directed, and Australia, 2008 version of Australia. Yeah, that's
how did Leo not get cast in Moulin Rouge?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You think that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember who was in it with. I know Nicole. It was Ewan McGregor, John Leguizamo.
Ewan McGregor, yeah.
Obi-Wan
Kenobi.
Maybe there's no singing in. Maybe he can't sing, and there's no actual singing for his part in Gatsby. But there was too much singing for him in the others.
That makes sense. I bet you Leo can't sing.
Probably not. He can't do everything, for Christ's sake.
No.
The guy's like a force to be reckoned with.
It's like a 40-year-old looking like a 12-year-old. I still don't like Leo.
Yeah, I never liked him either. I did like Inception, but I never liked him.
Me too.
We've been talking about movies. I should have played the movie drop.
Here is some money. Take him to the movies or something.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow, I'm having a real music fail today, huh? The music drop did play, but then it played the opening song again. A couple things on this list here for movies. At Cannes, Imagine Entertainment and Ron Howard made a bunch of announcements, and one of their announcements was that Imagine is going to be rebooting the Interview with the Vampire series, and they're in talks with Universal to make The Body Thief, not Tale of the Body Thief, The Body Thief is how they call it, which is the fourth book in the series, which may be kind of good for a movie, right? It's kind of a standalone story. It didn't have all that back history that you needed for the first three movies. It wasn't my favorite of the Lestat books, but it's an interesting concept with the switch in the body and all that stuff.
It's out of the remaining vampire novels, it's probably the easiest one to put on film.
Yeah, I agree.
It was the story wasn't simple, but I want to say the setting was simple. Yeah, there's not a lot of special effects moments.
Yeah. The other
Unlike something like Memnoch the Devil, which would be that would be kind of extreme.
Yeah, it would.
That's one of my favorites out of all the vampire novels.
Yeah, I should reread those one of these days. The real big news out of Imagine, of course, is that Media Rights Capital, which is I guess they're a money house that funds movies,
money.
Yeah, they're committed to make a single Dark Tower movie so far, with Russell Crowe as the gunslinger.
Ugh.
And if it does well, there will be more movies coming. Now that's none of that is set in stone. Brian Grazer from Imagine says that they were approached by another Silicon Valley investor that wanted to finance it as it was originally planned for 3 movies with 2 TV series in between. And they still haven't decided which of the 2 paths they're going to take. But it sounds to me like something's going to get made.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Except for the Russell Crowe bit.
I think they feel like they need a big name to draw people that aren't readers.
I would rather have Will Arnett. Or even David Cross than Russell Crowe.
Was Russell Bardem? Was Javier Bardem a better call when he was attached to it?
I mean, he's definitely not the way I ever pictured Roland.
Yeah.
However, I mean, I thought that was some great casting. I thought that was brilliant.
I mean, Roland's I looked it up. Right, Roland's supposed to be 6'4", right?
He's a tall guy.
Right, Eddie calls him long, tall, and ugly, like repeatedly through the books.
Yeah, and I always picture him as like very like wiry.
Yeah,
not like scrawny, but wiry.
Right. I never thought of him as like muscular. I mean, he's supposed to. Of course, he barely eats through one entire book, and I'm sure that he's he's a fighter, right? He's a soldier almost, so he can't be just like some lanky, nerdy looking kid. But I didn't picture him as kind of bulky, and I from what I think of Russell Crowe, I think of him as kind of stocky and short.
Yeah, he's definitely stocky and short.
Yeah, maybe with lifts in his shoes and camera trickery, they're going to make him look taller.
Maybe.
I
don't know. But
they did it with Tom Cruise, right? They did it with, speaking of Interview with the Vampire, they did it with Tom Cruise, and it kind of passed off, right?
Right. And they did it with, like, the entire cast of, The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's true.
But, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a Russell Crowe fan.
Neither am I, usually.
I mean, I have no particular problem with him in general, but I definitely don't see him as Roland, and I don't think he's awesome enough to pull it off to make me happy. I don't know.
Yeah.
People said the same thing about Tom Cruise in the Interview with the Vampire movie.
They did, and look at all the changes in Game of Thrones from the book compared to the books, and changes in the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings movies, and they do become, if you don't attach yourselves to the book so tightly that you're intolerant of any change. And a lot of people are that way about the Dark Tower books. It's going to be a problem for people maybe even people like us who are have it ingrained.
Maybe.
What
though? It's like Russell Crowe just doesn't seem aloof, and that's one thing I always pictured with the gunslinger is Roland is kind of like aloof. It's like he's not a people person.
No.
And when he develops into a people person, it almost feels like it should be awkward for him. And, Russell Crowe, even though I don't particularly care for him, he's like, I don't know, he's kind of warm and...
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
He's going to be holding Eddie's hair back while Eddie's puking,
I mean, what do you think? Think about the whole first book. If they're only going to make one movie and then see how it goes, are they really going to make the Gunslinger? That's one of my issues, right? The Gunslinger is a series of flashbacks. First, it's a blind walk through the desert with a series of flashbacks, and then it's dropping a child off of into a chasm, and it ends right, and it ends with a conversation and a man that disappears. 10 years passes or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was unsure about if they're even going to do that. What if they? My thought was maybe they'll start with Roland on the beach, and Jake will be with him, and they'll ignore the entire split timeline in Roland's head storyline. Jake will never have died in the first place, so Roland will have drawn Jake maybe in a flashback, and we'll never see Tull, and we'll see in flashback him and Jake following the Man in Black and catching up to him and getting answers out of him or whatever. And then this movie could be about the drawing, which sort of has more mass appeal, I think, because half of it would take place in America or wherever, right? And only half of it is taking place in this weird land. And I mentioned that in some message board somewhere, and people hated that, and I agree. I think I hate that too.
Yeah, I kind of hate that.
Yeah, but I can kind of see them wanting to do something to make it a little easier for non-Dark Tower fanatics to swallow. The first book is tough to swallow. It was Jen's favorite because it was so different than the others, but it's a lot of people don't like it because it's so different than the others. I don't know.
I think I would definitely like to see the first book done pretty much the same way it's done in the book.
Oh, I would like that too, of course. And my thought is that if they're only going to take funding for one movie and see how it does, they're going to try to do everything they can to make it exciting. And I guess it is, right? I mean, Tull is a crazy story to flash back to, and then the stuff where he tells Jake about his fight with Court. That'd make a cool section of the movie too. I don't know about watching a guy get hung or any of that stuff, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm old and set in my ways, and I don't know what would make a good movie these days for the masses. But I guess we'll see.
I don't know.
Oddly enough, Imagine's also talking about rebooting Splash.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a weird one.
I would prefer to see Tom Hanks as Roland than Russell Crowe. But I thought that the television series, I thought they'd made a Splash television
I think
series.
they did.
Yeah, but it's about people diving into pools.
Yeah.
It's like Dancing with the Stars, but like with people diving into pools. But when I first saw the listing, I was like, they made a Splash series? Get the fuck out of here. And then I saw a commercial for it, and I was like, oh, this is something.
Yeah, it's celebrities diving.
Yeah. What the hell is that about?
They're also making a movie version of Friday Night Lights, which is a high school football TV show.
I've never seen that.
I heard it was good, actually.
Me too.
Yeah.
But
anyway, that's the news out of Cannes from Imagine. Other movie news: Arnold Schwarzenegger may be starring in the Toxic Avenger reboot.
Oh Jesus!
That
is some crazy news.
Yeah, it says he's close to signing on for a lead role in the Toxic Avenger reboot. The action icon won't be taking on the title role as Toxie, but will be playing a secondary lead, who is a character that's being kept under wraps. I don't know what that means. I guess they're rewriting it a bit.
That's like, if you're Arnold Schwarzenegger and you're going to be like in the Toxic Avenger remake. I mean, I like the Toxic Avenger. Don't get me wrong, but I mean that's like low budget cheese.
Yeah.
And I gotta say that's because like even though you're back in the movies, like nobody but Sylvester Stallone's like looking at you. He's, oh boy.
Yeah, it sounds like a mess to me. A couple more remakes. A lot of remakes in the news. Luke Evans is being cast as Eric Draven in the Crow remake. He is who is he?
He's some name.
Yeah, it doesn't even say who he is. What else he's been in?
I know I've seen him in a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, but he looks familiar. There's a director attached to that too, F. Javier Gutierrez. Die Hard 6 is already being produced. It's going to be called Die Hardest. John McClane will be back. It will take place in Tokyo. And it'll be extremely faithful to the franchise and characters as a natural progression with a plausible storyline. That's fine. I didn't hate the last one. It was okay.
I still haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it wasn't anything thrilling.
Well, which one was the last one?
The one they go to Russia. And his son
That was Die...
Good Day to Die Hard?
Good Day to Die Hard.
Yeah. I did like the one before with the guy from the Mac PC commercials.
Yeah, Live Free or Die Hard.
Yeah, that was good. I liked that one.
Yeah, I like that one too.
It had good comic relief. He's good, that kid. I like him. Justin Long. He made it nice and fun. They're always a little bit funny, but he was good. Kelsey Grammer will be the villain in Transformers 4. I'm guessing he's not playing a Decepticon, but he will be the human villain. The cast will include Mark Wahlberg, Nicola Peltz, Jack Renner, and Stanley Tucci.
Mark Wahlberg has gone on record at some point as saying this may be the most important film of his career.
Wow, that's interesting.
I gotta believe he was smoking crack before he said that. I think we've talked about this before a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's made some like. I mean, I'm not a huge Mark Wahlberg fan. I like him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like a fantastic actor. I don't think he's like one of the great actors of our age. But he's made some pretty good movies, and I think to make a claim about Transformers 4 being like one of the biggest roles of your career, I gotta say that's smoking crack.
I like Ted.
I love Ted.
Yeah.
I thought he was great in Ted. And that's the kind of stuff I like Mark Wahlberg in.
I saw some other movie this weekend. I don't even know what movie it was, right? And so the characters were walking, and it was like an old man and his daughter or his son, and the old man was like, so I started watching this movie about this teddy bear, and it had the worst. It was cursing and doing sex, and the guy's like, and then he's like, and then when it ended, he's like, wait, you watch it to the end? He's like, of course, I don't like to stop in the middle. I was like, oh, they're talking about Ted. That's funny. It was funny.
What? I liked Ted. I liked it a lot.
Warner Brothers is reviving the Dungeons and Dragons movie franchise. They're going to make a new film using a script that was written by David Leslie Johnson, who wrote Wrath of the Titans and some of The Walking Dead. It's going to be called Chainmail. It's going to be based on a game.
It's because those first Dungeons and Dragons movies they did really well.
Yeah.
However, I gotta say, this is a new age for the fantasy movie.
It is. And they're jumping
Thanks
on the
to
Game
Lord
of
of the
Thrones. They're kind of jumping on the Game of Thrones bandwagon, right?
Yeah.
Zombie movies, are huge in the moment. Everybody's making a zombie movie, and even Cell. There was even news this week that someone finally is attached to Cell. It's going to be John Cusack, and there was something else about Cell this week. That's a Stephen King book about zombies. Kind of. It's really about cell phones that turn people into zombies.
Right. They're the more realistic zombies.
Yeah.
Just people going crazy as opposed to undead folks.
Right. So it's no longer Eli Roth. It's back up and running. John Cusack, finished screenplay by Adam Aleka. It's going to start shooting in September.
Nice.
Yeah, there's other Stephen King news this week too. We'll get to that after the break. J.J. Abrams says that John Williams will score Star Wars Episode 7, which is pretty, no-brainer, I think.
You got to figure whoever does it. I mean, I'm glad it's John Williams, but whoever does it would probably be using the same blueprint that John Williams started because, it's just iconic music.
Yeah.
You can't have, Star Wars would never be the same without the music.
Yep, very true.
But,
AJ and I argued again about Star Wars this week.
Did you?
Oh, he loves those. Although he loves those 3 movies, and I was like, they're terrible. It's like I was like, he said, "What do you think about J.J. Abrams doing it after he does Star Trek?" I was like, they can't be worse than the old movies. It's like I like J.J. Abrams. I like the movies he's made. I like the fact that Disney turned Warner movies into good movies. So I'm hopeful. And he's like, I don't know. I was like, take out most of the other 3 movies. I mean, I said there's some good stuff. The Darth Maul battle is really good.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's some pieces of those movies that are great.
I would like to cut about an hour. I mean, and I like them too, though.
Yeah.
It's like I'm in AJ's camp. I mean, I like all 3 of those movies to a point.
Yeah.
There's about an hour and a half I'd like to cut out of Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably about 40 minutes I'd cut out of Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
And there's just some dialogue I would redub in Revenge of the Sith.
I don't like when is the scene? What's this? Which movie was it with the where Amidala and Anakin were hanging out on like a summer house in the woods or
yeah, that was an Attack of the Clones. That's one of the scenes I would cut.
Yes.
When they're hanging out on the butt monster.
Yeah.
It's like a cow that's like nothing but like ass. And it's like, and he falls off and she thinks he hurt himself, but he's laughing. Ha 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 ha. I fell off the giant ass. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I hated that scene.
I hated all the love scenes, and AJ thought that was so crucial to that movie. We yelled again.
Ah. It would have just been better if he was just like, look, I really dig you. And she was like, so do I. And
yeah.
He was just like, let's just do it. That's more realistic to today's youth anyway.
It is. You're right.
There's no more romance. Romance with a giant ass cow monster. The fuck is that? And just like, and there are lines. I mean, Revenge of the Sith was like, was pretty much perfect from beginning to end, with the exception of some of the dialogue. And I'm not even talking about like some of the dialogue being, because you can make that argument about all the dialogue in the original trilogy, which is still awesome and still works. It's not great dialogue, but I think we've discussed this too before on the show. The thing that kills me is we're a long time ago, but somehow in the future, as Family Guy puts it. We've got all sorts of fantastic technology, and there's robots giving birth to babies because you don't need someone to go in there. You can replace all sorts of body parts with bionics.
Yep.
But she's dying of a fucking broken heart. You are fucking killing me. Like, if the babies died. Yeah. Which would have made no sense to the movie overall, but maybe if the babies died and then she had nothing to live for, all right, I could accept like the robots would be like, well, we don't have the emotional capacity to handle this, so she's going to die of a broken heart. No, you don't die of a fucking broken heart in the Star Wars fucking universe. Because while you're awake and on the table, they just fucking scoop that thing out of you and they give you a fucking robot heart. I mean, shit, fucking General Grievous was all robot except for he had a human heart.
That's true.
He died of a broken heart, but that's because Obi-Wan shot him in it. That was the only time someone dying of a broken heart in a Star Wars movie made any sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I would just change that to like, he force choked the shit out of her. Like, that's what that robot would say. If I could just redub that movie, and they'd be like, what's wrong? He'd be like, well, he force choked the shit out of her. And they'd be like, oh, that makes sense. Fucking. Angry.
Yeah. I think we'll be debating Star Wars for the next few months before the movie comes out. A year.
Oh, for years to come.
Yeah.
A movie a year. This is like this is one of the things that's going to end civilization. Is the Star Wars wars.
I agree.
Except for the people that get to leave the planet because of the wars, and that'll be the Star Trek track. That was bad.
Let's watch a couple trailers.
Sure.
Speaking of the end of the world, they're finally making Ender's Game. Did you see it yet? The trailer?
Yes.
Yeah, let's watch the...
I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm still excited.
Yeah, let's watch the Ender's Game trailer briefly.
They know our strategies. They've learned our weaknesses. And the alien attack nearly destroyed us. That must never be allowed to happen again. If we're going to survive, we need a new kind of soldier. One who doesn't think the way we think. Fear the things we fear. One the enemy would never expect. We need minds like yours, Ender. You'll be the finest commander we've ever trained.
So I'm not the first?
No, but you will be the last.
I'll do everything I can to win this war. You really don't see them as children, do you?
If you succeed, you will be remembered as a hero.
No!
Yeah, so Ender's Game.
Yeah, it looks good.
I had a question. Did they give away? This is the big spoilers.
Yeah, I was about
trailer?
to say, like, spoiler alert. Like, if you haven't read the book, I don't think we're going to be spoiling anything because I think they've removed a big part of this. So, spoiler alert: if you don't want to know if you haven't read Ender's Game,
Right.
and you don't want to know what the big thing is, like, I recommend you skip ahead like a minute.
Yeah. Give us a
So,
couple.
like, I'm giving you a chance to do that now, people of the internets. Go ahead and skip ahead.
Right.
It makes it seem like he's fighting this war all along.
I mean, and the fact that they're showing spaceships exploding. I mean, maybe in the actual movie, that is going to be the way the simulation looks, the quote-unquote simulation looks to them.
Right.
Real explosions, real planets blowing up, and, you know, the real twist, which we don't actually have to say aloud, I suppose, in case people, you know, the real twist still happens. It still surprises Ender, at least.
It looks like it's not going to. I mean, the way they're talking to him.
Yeah.
It really seems like they have just, like, cut that out.
That would be a shame.
That would be a shame.
One of the more interesting parts of the story was that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who's been living under a rock and hasn't read this book, but, you know, I'm sure there are plenty of people, and I don't hold anything against them. No. But, sort of. But, because I don't care how homophobic and creepy, like, our Mormon buddy, Orson Scott Card is, the Ender books are fantastic.
Yeah.
Even though he hates gay people and women, and he's a Mormon. And he lives, like, somewhere near me. Like, not like stone's throw, but he lives, like, you know, in the next big town over. He lives in Greensboro somewhere.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I've occasionally thought about, like, kind of stalking him and being like, dude, I really love your Ender's books. Like, don't hate on the homos, man. Come on. Don't hate on that.
He'd be like, yeah, you're the only one who's ever said that to me, and he'd just walk away.
Yeah, exactly. Or he'd shoot me, because it is North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks good.
That card has got, like, a backyard full of bodies of people who just walked over to his house and just, you know, told him how much they loved his books and he should stop hating on the gays.
You know what I forgot? I forgot how big of a role the Harrison Ford character had in the book, actually, because he was all over that trailer.
Yeah, no, he's got the big role. It's the Mazer Rackham, who's being played by a tattooed Ben Kingsley, whose role is definitely smaller.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like, you know, it's been increased any, you know, judging by the trailer. I mean, we won't know until we've seen the movie, but.
All right, that looks interesting. Let's watch one more trailer. Let's watch one more trailer. This is the trailer for the new Riddick movie. I like the Riddick movies.
So do I.
Yeah. First one was not called Riddick. It was called Pitch Black.
Pitch Black.
Pitch Dark. Pitch Black. Pitch Black.
Pitch Black.
Yeah. The second one was pretty good. It was different than the first, but it was cool.
Yes.
So let's see what the new one's going to be like.
Don't know how many times I've been crossed off the list and left for dead. So this ain't nothing new. Bounty hunters.
I've been hunting Reddy for 10 years. He's the most dangerous man we've ever tracked.
Ooh, Starbucks.
He's been doubled.
I've come to collect your head in a box, right here.
So yet again, we play for blood.
This is a man who sees in the dark. So watch out for surprise attacks.
What is it?
One down. 3 down. You get where I'm going with this.
Again!
Hold him down.
What is happening?
Time's up.
Yeah, let's cut him loose.
I guess he's not king of the weird Satan people anymore.
Yeah, I hope they kind of explain that.
I guess they'll have to.
I mean, I prefer something like this, like something back to the basics of like Pitch Black, where it's like people are trying to catch Riddick because he's a bad guy, and you know, even though he's like awesome, he's a bad guy.
But then they end up needing him in the end. Yeah,
right.
A lot like the first one.
But yeah, I mean, like at the end of the first one, exactly. He became like king of the Satan worshippers, right? Or whatever they were.
Weird time shifting alien things.
He became their ruler. He was like practically king of the universe.
He was.
He was the Kwisatz Haderach. But yeah, so I hope they at least say so. I mean, I don't need a whole long explanation. Just like, well, he used to be king of those guys, and you know, they kicked him out. Something.
Yeah.
Let's acknowledge it.
They should. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we've got only a little tiny bit of TV news, and then we'll call it a show. We're gonna watch one more video. We're gonna watch an Audi ad.
Nice.
Have you don't know anything about this Audi ad?
I don't think so.
Good. So it'll be a surprise to you and everyone else. So we'll be right back.
There's the television.
all right there. All right there. Look, listen, Neil, pray. Commercials.
Speaking of commercials,
yes.
let's play this video, and then we'll close out the show with a couple of small stories.
Hello.
Check.
Check and meet my young friend.
How about another challenge? You want to play a round of golf at the club and get some lunch? Whoever gets to the club last buys lunch.
Stand by to have your wallet emptied by a tractor beam.
Anything's possible, but probably not that.
Middle of the earth in the land of Shire, there's a brave little hobbit whom we all admire. Long wooden pipe, fuzzy wooden toes. Lives in a hobbit hole and everybody knows him. Bilbo. Bilbo Baggins, the bravest little hobbit of them all. Yeah. Go, Bilbo!
Call Leonard.
Go.
Hey, where are you?
Use your sensors.
No need. I'm already here.
You're there already? I feel like I'm stuck in a black hole.
No worries, I can practice my swing if you need to pull over and take a nap.
Smart ass. I have been, and always shall be, your friend.
Really?
I had to.
Nice try, you wish.
No, I definitely had.
Not for a second. Obviously, you're buying lunch.
Technically, we're not inside yet. I'll see you inside.
Oh, that's funny.
Fascinating.
What'd you think?
I like it.
That was pretty awesome, right?
It was. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I had heard about it. I had read about the commercial, but I had yet to see it.
Yeah, it was good stuff. All right, TV news. There's only a little bit. The It Crowd looks like it's going to be returning for one last episode. And I never watched it, but I know you were a big It Crowd fan.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It says that will be a 40-minute special episode of the It Crowd. Yeah, that's all it says. Filming is due to start in a few weeks.
Yeah, I was fearing that would never happen because, Roy is now a big movie star.
Mm-hmm.
And TV star. I saw the HBO special, one of those series that he's in now. Christopher Guest directing.
Okay.
It's like another mockumentary kind of thing. He's going to look for members of his family, but I'm really thrilled about that. The IT Crowd is one of my favorite shows ever. It's the only sitcom I really truly appreciate that actually still has a laugh track.
Yeah, cool. Maybe I should watch it now that I was looking for something to watch on Amazon Instant Streaming because I finished rewatching all of the Arrested Developments, and I finished Battlestar, so I was looking for something else. I started watching Buffy from the beginning, but there's like 9 seasons of Buffy with 13. It's like 100 episodes, and they're like 45 minutes each. So I felt it was a little daunting to start watching Buffy from the beginning again.
I'm currently watching Buffy from the beginning again as well.
Yeah, I watched episode 1 from season 1 the other day, and I was like, this was really great. Maybe I'll keep watching it. I mean, it's a lot of a commitment. But
so you have the Netflix currently?
No, I'm watching it on Amazon Streaming.
Okay. This might be on Amazon Streaming. You'll have to take a look.
Yeah.
It's called The Increasingly Poor Decisions of Todd Margaret.
Okay.
Since you finished your Arrested Development watching until next Sunday, I recommend this highly. It stars David Cross and Job, whose name I mentioned earlier in the show, and I can't remember for the life of me what it is now. He's the funny guy, Job, and it's a terrible show, but it's awesome. I mean, it's funny, it's really great, but it's like it's
terrible.
It's 12 hours of you just wincing at these. The title tells it all. It's The Increasingly Poor Decisions of Todd Margaret. David Cross just plays this guy who's just like, his life is just falling apart, and he nothing he does makes it any better. He continually makes it worse, and yeah, it gets to the point where it's like you're just cringing. And I didn't even want to finish watching it because I was like, I can't watch this guy like fall apart any further. And but at the same time, I was hitting go next episode please, because it was really good. Now, if anyone's already finished with their Arrested Development marathons, waiting for next Sunday, this is a great way to kill some time between now and next Sunday.
Cool. It looks like I can watch it on Amazon Instant Video, but it's not on the free streaming portion. It's only in the pay episode section.
So you are going to sign up for the Netflix.
Yeah, I'll have Netflix again soon.
So yeah, I would definitely recommend trying to catch it while you can.
Cool.
Before you get rid of the Netflix again.
Cool. So ABC picked up Joss Whedon's S.H.I.E.L.D. It's officially confirmed. It'll start airing when? Up for the fall. And what's his name is back? The guy who was killed in Avengers.
Yeah, his first name is Agent.
Yeah, Agent Paulson. Agent Coulson. Yeah, he's coming back to life somehow. I don't know if I like that, but I like the fact that there's going to be another show from Joss Whedon on TV.
Absolutely. And I can appreciate him coming back from life. I mean, considering the...
It makes me feel like that nobody's ever going to die ever in any of these worlds.
Well, you see, that's why I can accept it. It's because it's based on Marvel Comics, where nobody dies.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, and they keep saying, the only people... at one point there were 3 people that would never come back from the dead. Mm-hmm. Marvel said these are 3 people that will never, ever come back. Jean Grey, Bucky, who was Captain America's sidekick, and Uncle Ben. And so far, the only one who has not come back to life is Uncle Ben.
Okay.
And I'm sure that before End of Civilization as we know it, Uncle Ben will be back. He'll be back. They'll come up with some storyline about how he had to fake his death because he went to go save Peter Parker's parents, who it turned out were S.H.I.E.L.D. operatives.
Yeah.
And he'll be back.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
So yeah, nope. Death is not permanent in the Marvel Universe as much as they would. Captain Marvel has come back to life a couple of times, but both times it's been it wasn't really him. So that's actually kind of worked out too. Captain Marvel's still dead.
The last of the TV news, there's 2 stories. The Warehouse 13 renewed for its 5th and final season. There will be 6 episodes of their final season, and it's going to end next year.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it's sad, but it had a long run. I think it's done well all these years, and
it has.
I don't want it to get crappy, so I always like it when they decide to end something.
Yeah, it's better to end on a high note than after you've jumped a million sharks. Back to Arrested Development for a second.
Okay.
I don't know if I had ever noticed this before.
Oh, I specifically didn't watch the trailer with you because I didn't want to see it, by the way. There is a trailer for Arrested Development if anyone's interested. I think you just crapped out. There you are. You're back.
I'm back. One of the classic episodes where they have Henry Winkler, who was Fonzie, is their lawyer, Barry Zuckerkorn.
Yep.
And there was this one scene where after Buster loses his hand, they catch a shark that had eaten the seal that had eaten Buster's hand. The seal had a tracking device, and they found it on the... But anyway, he jumps over the shark. I don't think I ever noticed that before.
That's brilliant.
So, yeah, I'm psyched to see this thing come back next week.
Me too. It's gonna be great. And I said to Jen, I was like, I said, Jen, do you want to rewatch these? She was like, no, I'll just watch them. I remember them. I was like, Steve Holt, and she's like, what does that mean? I was like, oh, I was like, what about? Do you remember the banana stand? She's like, no, what's the banana stand? I was like, you can't. How could you not rewatch it? You don't remember even one thing. Those were like tropes throughout the entire 3 seasons of that show, or whatever it was.
I mean, banana stand.
Though the banana stand's been touring. It was in Times Square the other day.
I know. I was so jealous.
I didn't go. Farrah was there.
I'd love to have gone.
Farrah went. She just happened to be in the city.
I might have even gone as a never nude. Maybe. maybe not.
The last bit of TV news we have is Fringe. There's going to be a series of books. I think it's the first official books from the Fringe universe. This one is called Fringe: The Zodiac Paradox, and it's it's a story from before with William Bell and Walter when they were working together. And it takes place in 1974.
Oh.
Yeah, it's interesting. I already bought the book. I bought the ebook. I haven't read it yet, but I will. I bought it because I'm interested. It's going to be definitely part of it. I think they already announced that it's 3 books in the first series of Fringe novels. I'm guessing there's going to be millions like they do with Star Trek and all those other sci-fi stories.
Sure.
Yeah. We didn't talk about any techie stuff. There was a bunch of techie news this week. There was Google I/O happened, and today Tumblr was bought by Yahoo. That was a big story. $1.1 billion. I thought that was kind of huge.
Yeah, that's very huge.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but Yahoo already owns freaking the other photo site. What's the big? Everybody has their pictures up on Flickr. So they're gonna have Flickr and Tumblr. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. And the Google stuff, there's all kinds of news. There's a new app for chat called Hangouts, and there's they're updating maps. I'm already part of the beta of the new Maps program.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. There's gonna be the search. They're changing search, right? So I could show you. I could play a bit of it now without because I'm in one of the beta programs. This is not how it's really going to work, right? So I can click a button and I can search by voice, right? So I could say, who is Stephen King?
According to Wikipedia, Stephen Edwin King is an American author of contemporary horror, suspense, science fiction, and fantasy.
And you could say stuff like, give me information on Wilmington, Delaware.
There are several listings for information near Wilmington.
Give me directions to there. See, it didn't work. That didn't work. It's going to get so good. It's supposed to get so good that you can not say. You could change. You don't have to say the places twice. You could say like,
right.
Tell me about San Jose, and then tell me how to get there.
Right, because it's just going to pick it up from the context of your
previous searches. Right. So now that's just the search by voice. Eventually, it'll be turned on so that you don't have to click. I click a little microphone to do that. You'll be able to say "Go Google," and the thing will open up in the middle of the screen, and then you just talk. So in other words, your computer will be listening to the room that you're in always, which I suppose has privacy issues. So those privacy nuts. And anytime you say "Go Google," it'll do a voice search about whatever you say next.
Oh.
Yep. And they've expanded their knowledge graph a lot. Now the knowledge graph, if you ever do a Google search and things show up on the right-hand side, like a Wikipedia article or a bunch of pictures, that's part of their knowledge graph. The kind of stuff that you're not necessarily searching for a web page, but you want information, and Google will provide it without you having to go to a web page. So they're expanding their knowledge graph by a lot of stuff, so that makes a better experience when doing searches. That was a big deal, I thought. Yeah, it's interesting, and you'll get that same search on your phone too. All that stuff, and Google Now will get more stuff too. I guess that's it.
I dig it.
Yeah, cool stuff. So let's call it a show.
All right, it's a show.
Yeah, that was fun. We do this generally we do this every Tuesday night now at 8 o'clock. We're taking off this current week, so we'll be back the following Tuesday. That's the day after Memorial Day. So check us out at nottheshow.com, and you can follow us on Twitter at nottheshow, and Facebook at nottheshow, and facebook.com/nottheshow, I mean. And yeah, that's us.
What have you got to lose?
Yeah. Oh, I read the newest Stephen King book out. That's out. I have before it came out, by the way.
Nice.
Joyland. It was excellent. Joyland.
Awesome.
Yeah, the publisher sent me a preview copy because I said, I have a Stephen King website. And since it's not his main publisher, they're small enough that they actually answered my email. When I email Simon & Schuster or Scribner, they never answer them. So
right.
I'm not big enough for them. But I was big enough for the small paperback company.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they sent me a copy. I read it in a day. It was awesome. They already optioned it for a movie before the book even came out. So that's the show. We will see you in a couple weeks. Have a good week, buddy.
You too.
I'm going to close out the show not with our opening song, which was Negative Creep, which is a Nirvana cover, but I'm going to close the show with this because I think it's awesome.
Cool.
Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Lock your Soyuz hatch and put your helmet on. 10. Ground control 9, to Major Tom. 8, 7, 6. Commencing countdown, engines on. 3, 2. Detach from station and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade, and the papers want to know whose shirts you wear. But it's time to guide the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I've left forevermore.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.